Over 200 years ago, Captain Cook landed at this point and discovered what would become the enchanting country of Australia. Over the years, these waters have been the site of much carnage for both man and vessels. And today, in the spirit of that first discovery, 16 of the world's top big wave surfers have traveled from around the globe to face shark-infested waters, a chaotic shipping lane, tumultuous tides, and the drop into one of the most powerful barreling waves on the planet. A wave that breaks a mere 10 meters off the coastline against a sheer rock wall face. This is Cape Fear, and you're watching the Redbull Signature Series. Hey everybody, Sal Masekela here, your host of the Redbull Signature Series, and allow me to welcome you to Cape Solander, near Botany Bay, just south of Sydney, Australia. Today we have a very unique big wave surfing event as we've gathered the top big wave surfers from around the world and we have matched them head to head in an MMA or boxing style format. These guys are going to be surfing here at one of the most deadliest waves on the planet. Deep water swells. They pitch onto a shallow ledge, forming a 10-foot slab that breaks just meters from a cliff wall. Other waves like Chopu, Mavericks, or Jaws might break bigger, but for its size range, there's nothing more powerful or deadly than Cape Fear. We're all set for the first heat, so we're going to check in with Todd Harris and big wave legend Mike Parsons for more.
Thank you, Sal. Different format here today, more of a boxing or MMA style of competition. Now we have 8 matchups, so we'll have 8 winners, big wave surfers from around the world, not just guys you would see on the world tour competing very often, but they're here and they will be faced off with some serious locals, Mike, who know this break better than anyone.
Yeah, local knowledge will be a big key here today. The judges will be scoring these surfers on their 2 best waves, a 1 to 10 scoring system, so 10 being a perfect wave. Interference will be the surfer on the inside position. This is a right-hand wave. There's no lefts out here. And of course, Cape Fear, it's all about the barrel. How deep can these surfers get in the tube? And the heavier waves will score the big points. Extremely
treacherous as the rocks are just meters away from where they will kick out. Before we get to the competition, let's check in with a 4th member of our broadcast team who's down on those rocks. Here is Tina Dixon.
Before the event started, the guys got a chance to get out on the water and test the waves, and the word, it looks crazy from that perspective. Now, I just spoke with event director Mark Matthews, who told me when he first showed up, in the first 5 minutes, he saw a couple heavy 6-foot sets coming through, and remember, breaking right in front of that sheer cliff. Now, Mark will be competing in one of the most anticipated heats of the day, going up against longtime hero Shane Dorian, but yesterday in practice, he did hurt his back. Received x-rays, they were negative, but admitted he is surfing in a lot of pain. Now, they are hoping these waves will build throughout the day, get bigger. Remember, these guys are the best in the world, but as it stands right now, breaking at 6 feet, it only happens a couple days a year here at Cape Fear.
All right, thank you very much, Tina. And there you see our first matchup getting set in the water in the red. It'll be Ryan Hipwood taking on Jamie O'Brien of Hawaii in the black.
Well, this will be a great heat. 2 of the very best big wave surfers in the world. Both these guys real comfortable in these slabby waves. Ryan Hipwood will have the local knowledge out here. Jamie O'Brien, of course, all his experience at places like Chopu and Pipeline and basically any slab around the world. He is very comfortable, so this is a great matchup.
And it looks like Hipwood's going to have priority. He'll grab the first wave of the competition here at Cape Fear, and it's a nice one.
What a beautiful wave here for Ryan Hipwood. Looks back at the judges. That was an incredible ride from Ryan Hipwood. Really good positioning there. Just a fantastic way to open up. his campaign. Let's take another look here. He paddles in, scratches, gets to his feet, really steep drop, and just picks a perfect line here through the barrel, driving completely gone from the judge's view, comes out, and that is a perfect ride.
The 29-year-old from the Gold Coast of Australia, look how deep he gets in this barrel.
Yeah, this was truly spectacular. You can see what an incredible wave this is. It is so steep, so close to the rocks. So look at this ledge and the thickness in this wave. Really late takeoff. He has to pump right here just in front of that foam ball, adjusts his line nicely, and comes out clean. You can see all the bump and backwash in that wave, and he read it perfectly.
And the Aussie reads it perfectly to a 10-point score for Ryan Hipwood. Shane Dorian, believed to be the best big wave surfer in the world, getting ready for Heat 2. As we go on board and take a look at what it takes to ride a wave at Cape Fear.
Slab surfing is basically surfing over really shallow reef and waves with huge consequences. On any given wave, if you fall off, you're going to hit the bottom, and there's a good chance that you can knock yourself out or, worst case, break your neck.
A slabbing, thick, hollow wave breaking in shallow water in front of a cliff, they're all the elements of making this the most dangerous wave on the planet. And then it's the most exciting wave for the guys to surf and also to watch. And now it's basically one of the most amazing waves on the planet.
Heat 2 is now in the water, and this is a big one, Mike. You've got Shane Dorian, the 42-year-old out of Hawaii, going head-to-head against 31-year-old Mark Matthews, one of the brainchild of this event. A little bit of a lull in the sets coming in here, Mike. Very treacherous wave, but it kicks in fast.
It does. Real steep takeoffs. Mark Matthews here really late there. Free falls out of the sky, pulls in the barrel. Long, clean section in front of him. You can see the spit. But it just pinched a little bit, and that's what happens if the wave's not quite big enough. It hits that backwash and pinches, and he was unable to exit.
So Matthews unable to come clean from that barrel, and that's what it's all about here at Cape Fear, getting in the barrel. Here's Jamie O'Brien set to go.
Yeah, you can see the steepness from that camera angle from the back, how steep that drop was. And this is just an incredible ride from Jamie O'Brien, really deep. You can see the excitement there, but a long tube, negotiated it perfectly, all the bumps on the face of that wave from that backwash, and he did really well to come out of that clean.
And that's a good point. You talk about a lot of waves when you get a nice barrel like that, they'll be really glassy. This one, not so much.
Yeah, it's smooth on the face, but the backwash from the first wave in the set, you can see it warble right there. So you really got to be on your game, pick that perfect line, which he does, and he exits cleanly, and he is pumped.
So Jamie O'Brien of Hawaii finding a home here at Cape Fear. One more look at it again. You can see just how glassy that Mike's talking about, but down on the face, that's where the bumpiness comes into play.
Yeah, and then that spit, boy, that spit was strong, and he came out after the spit, and that's really what the judges are looking for. You exit after the spit, and you'll see those really big scores.
So Ryan Hipwood started the competition off with a 10. Here he goes again.
Yeah, he's so comfortable out here. One of those surfers that surfs here a lot on every swell. And he is one of the best tube riders in the world. And like you said, looking very, very comfortable.
Mike, we've talked about how treacherous this break is. Just getting to this break is not easy.
Well, real heavy entering the water here. You can see this wave push him back up and surge right back on the rocks. And that's the real danger right there, especially on the real big days. You don't want to fall on the first wave of the set, and you do not want to get blown up onto that shelf.
Slab surfing at its finest here just outside of Sydney, Australia. Cape Fear, part of the Redbull Signature Series. And everyone now scrambling to try to get some nice waves here as this heat's about to wrap up. And it looks like Jamie O'Brien's going again.
Yeah, Jamie O'Brien really having some great waves here this morning. Another clean one there with a clean exit. And then giving the big air on the exit there is some spectacular kickouts.
How about Shane Dorian out back?
Wow, Shane, that wave ran off so quick down the reef. He really had to pump fast and just position himself a little bit too deep on that one, and it ran away in front of him. Here is Jamie O'Brien in a beautiful tube coming out after the spit, and a fantastic ride there for Jamie O'Brien.
Jamie lives on the north shore of Oahu, pipeline and backdoor, literally his backyard. But he's never surfed here before, Mike. This is a tricky wave.
It is a tricky wave, but he's so experienced in these slabby barrels. Look at him deep in this one, coming out after the spit, cleanly blown out. You can see the emotion there from Jamie O'Brien. Probably his first wave he's ever ridden at this reef. And look at what he does here. Pulls the perfect line, stays nice and high here, has to redirect and come out after the spit. And he is stoked. What a way to start his trip to Australia.
So Ryan Hipwood has a 10 to open things up. Jamie O'Brien has an 8.75. Now remember, it's your 2 best scoring waves that'll get you the victory here in your heat. And another rider up and riding. This is Mark Matthews in the blue from heat number 2, and he's going to kick out of this one quickly.
Yeah, Mark, so experienced here, has probably spent the most time on this wave of any of our competitors in this competition. So local knowledge will play a huge factor here today. And Mark Matthews is on the board with a decent opening score.
And heat 3 prepping to head out for their round. Remember, we're trying to maximize the wave here, so it's going to be rapid fire succession. And in heat number 3, it'll be Laurie Towner up against David Rastovich.
Yeah, it's a great format. They want to utilize the swell, and they have these heats overlapping so no empty waves go by. Jamie O'Brien on wave number 2 right here. Really nice style there. Oh, beautiful kick out. So he's really comfortable right off the bat. He's got 2 nice scores on the board. That'll just be a backup score for him, but nonetheless a great ride.
Jamie O'Brien opened things up with that nice 8.75. Remember, he's up against Hipwood, who nailed a 10 on his first ride.
Yeah, it's all about entry into this wave. You got to get in early, paddle down the face quick, and get as deep as possible. Jamie O'Brien doing a nice job there, paddling really deep on this one. Great view from our water camera here, just slowing down as much as he possibly can and really just working on picking a nice line and clean exit out of the barrel.
So Jamie O'Brien takes his total to 12.75. He's got 2 waves that he's sitting on, and Ryan Hipwood in red up and riding.
Yeah, beautiful looking wave here for Ryan Hipwood. Perfect style there, clean exit, and as he kicks out right in front of Dave Rastovich there, another clean wave for Ryan Hipwood. That'll be a decent backup score for him. So he's in a great position in this heat with 2 very good rides.
Hipwood's first wave, a perfect 10. His second wave, not too shabby as you look how deep he gets in this thing and kind of stalls himself out to get the cover up.
Yeah, he's got both hands in the wall there, controlling his speed, really trying to slow down. He lets go with that front arm and adjusts his line right here, kind of bottom turning in the barrel. He is so comfortable in the tube and so good at this. Perfect style and technique there for Ryan Hipwood, one of the best tube riders in the world, showing us how easy it is for him out here.
The local knowledge paying off, and that'll bring an end to heat number 1. Ryan Hipwood of Australia defeats Jamie O'Brien of Hawaii. His score a 15.75, so he gets the win in heat number 1 over O'Brien and his 12.75. Taking a look matchup for heat number 3, it'll be Laurie Towner, the 28-year-old from Australia, and David Rastovich out of New Zealand, but now living in New South Wales, just 33 years of age.
Oh, that's another fantastic heat. Both those guys so good in these types of waves. And let's see here on this next wave, having a paddle here. You notice this wave, how thick it is. You have to paddle real early. Here's Laurie Towner. And perfect little style there, nice cover up. Trying to slow down here for this second section and stay in the tube as long as he possibly can. And Laurie Towner does a nice job of it.
Mike, we can't reiterate enough how treacherous this wave is. They're so close to the shore, and there's that rock shelf that's really about 30 feet away from where they're surfing.
Yeah, it's one of the most dangerous waves in the world for sure, and for reasons you just pointed out. You're literally 10 feet away from a dry shelf, and it is very hard to get in and out of the water, as you see Jamie O'Brien right here trying to get up onto the ledge and getting blown back off. And it is a treacherous surf spot, no doubt about it.
Jamie O'Brien has experience in waves like this. In conditions like this, he'll get some help from the Water Patrol as we go back out to Heat 2 action. This will be Mark Matthews in blue getting wave number 2.
Oh, Mark Matthews, a beautiful wave here, stalling and comes out clean. So a nice wave for Mark Matthews. And he's having a fantastic heat. That'll be another excellent score.
Moving on to Heat 3, Dave Rastovich in black getting his first wave.
Yeah, Dave Rastovich is one of the most stylish surfers in the world. Just an all-around ambassador for the sport of surfing, environmentalist, great surfer, and really noted for his style, as we see Shane Dorian behind him.
And Shane Dorian in rapid-fire succession as the heats overlap. We're seeing action from Heat 2 and 3. Again, to maximize the swell that we've got coming in right now, the best surfers in the world, they want a piece of the very best.
Yeah, Dave Rastovich here, beautiful surfing. Picks a beautiful line through this barrel, changing his direction a little bit. He is so smooth. His style reminds everyone a lot of Tom Curran. As we see behind him, this, of course, is Mark Matthews, the local boy, just hanging out in this barrel. Tube time is what it's all about. Gets real high in this one, has to duck his head as the lip almost gets a piece of him, and he exits cleanly. So beautiful wave there from Mark Matthews.
Matthews, again, one of the inventors of this event here at Cape Fear on the board. As we get a look at heat number 4 entering the water, it'll be Evan Falks matched up against Richie Voss. And while we have a moment, this absolute washing machine of a break here at Cape Solander, let's check in with the 4th member of our broadcast team. Here's Tina Dixon.
Jamie, it was less than 24 hours that you actually had your first surf session out there at Cape Fear, and now your first time competing. Just give us your take.
Yeah, Cape Fear is just the most intense, radical wave, and definitely putting it on the line. The wave's right on the rocks, and coming in ain't much easier, let me tell you.
And you went up against Hippo, and I know you guys had some text wars leading up to this?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I think Hippo planned the surf against me because we're best friends, but we got like a weird rivalry where we always try to edge each other in the water, like who can get the sicker one. Always seem to get the upper hand on him in Hawaii, and I don't spend too much time in Australia, so I know he's stoked to beat me right there. And unfortunately, waves are a little slow, but, you know, there's some great surfing to be had today.
Well, 2 big guys starting out this heat, guys, and we're just beginning here at Cape Fear.
All right, thank you, Tina. Back to the action in heat number 2. Heat number 3 also in the water. Keep an eye on the white singlet. Shane Dorian, it looks like he's going to scramble for this wave, Mike. This might be a good one.
Yeah, he's got priority here. Beautiful looking wave for Shane. He's trying to stall and get really deep in this barrel. Unfortunately for Shane, just a little bit out in front of it. He knows he's got to get behind that curtain to get the big scores.
It's your 2 best scoring waves, and we'll have a look at Shane Dorian's effort here once again.
Yeah, nice style here. Really puts the brakes on. He's stalling right here, trying to get as deep as he possibly can. Adjusts his line a little bit for that backwash and comes out of the tube clean, but not a real deep barrel there, so that'll just be a backup score for Shane. But notice the fantastic technique. He is so comfortable and so good in these slabby waves.
So Dorian out of Hawaii picks up a 3.10 on that wave, brings his total to 7.60. And that leaves Mark Matthews all alone in heat number 2 in the blue. This will be his 3rd scoring wave.
Oh, real heavy drop there for Mark Matthews. He goes down. You can see how intense this wave is. You're right in front of that cliff. There's a ton of backwash, especially in the 2nd wave of the set, as Shane Dorian follows him. And time is winding down in this heat as Shano looking for a section here to do a turn, but not much happening. So Mark Matthews there survives a heavy wipeout, and Shane Dorian with just another backup score.
And Matthews survives and wins the heat over Shane Dorian. And with that, here's Sal.
Cape Solander is a location that is rich in history. This is the spot where Captain Cook first landed in Australia and discovered the continent over 200 years ago. Now, as a surf spot, this place also has a unique history. It was thought unsurfable for years due to how powerful it is and just how close it breaks to the cliffs. But just as Captain Cook was determined to discover new worlds, these Aussie surfers were equally determined to prove that you could surf this place. And now they've invited the big wave surfers from around the world to compete in a first-of-its-kind event.
Cape Fear has been a long time coming. It's basically been 4 or 5 years in the making.
The history of this break is that bodyboarders had been surfing it for about 5 years, and it wasn't until we saw in a bodyboard movie the footage of it that they flipped it from a right to a left, but we could recognize the headlands and stuff. And then once we saw that footage, it was like, wow, we need to go and surf this wave.
The wave here at Cape Fear is pretty unique for all of the surfers. This is probably the closest setting that we have in the entire world that gives us a stadium atmosphere. The way the deep water shelf is out the back and the slabbing part of the rocks where it breaks is really close to the shoreline. And you can really feel the energy from the crowd and everything that's happening around there.
To have the first ever big wave event in Australia is incredible.
It's amazing for Sydney and Australia to have an event like this, to be able to run an event in thick, barreling slab. It's really good for the people that live here and just for surfing in general.
It's about the start of something that's bigger to come. It's history.
And Mike Parsons, you surf some heavy waves around the world. How does this one compare?
Well, the heaviest thing about this wave and what makes it one of the world's most dangerous waves is how close it is to those rocks and how shallow it is. This truly is slab surfing right here. It is so shallow, so close to those rocks. If you fall in the first wave of the set, you get the next wave right on the head, so it is very, very dangerous.
So 2 heats in the water at the same time. Keep your eye on Richie Voss from Maroubra, New South Wales, as well as Evan Falks also in this heat.
Yeah, he just positioned himself a touch deep there, more of an inside wave, a lot of backwash on that one, so wisely jumps off. That'll be just a backup score, trying to stay busy and get that all-important second score.
Mike, you got to be careful where you exit your board. As we talked about this slab surfing, these guys are not much more than a meter of water down to that rocky ledge.
Oh, it's a good point, how you jump off, and he jumped vertical with his feet down, the safest way to do it. As behind him, we see our competitor in the white, Evan Falks, and he's looking for that solid second score as well. So these surfers trying to stay busy and trying to build their scores.
Heat 4 will be Evan Falks of Australia going up against Richie Voss, also of Australia, both of them coming from Maroubra, New South Wales. But we get back to the action in the water in Heat 3. Dave Rostovich in black getting his second wave.
Yeah, nice wave here for Dave Rostovich. Way up forward on his board there. Nice style, but unfortunately for Dave, that wave not really barreling, and he's going to have to kick out with just a backup score.
So a lot of speed for Dave Rostovich as he comes down the line. Right now, let's go down to the water's edge. That's where Tina Dixon is standing by with Mark Matthews, who won heat number 2.
Mark, the first time going up against Shane Dorian, man on man, and you took him out. You beat him here in Australia. How was that for you?
I'm so stoked. I mean, a little disappointed that we didn't get a few bigger sets. I know, like, the result could have been different. Shano is basically the best big wave surfer of our generation, if not ever. So it was really cool to beat him, but I'm not going to walk around claiming that I really beat Shane Dorian because the waves were too slow in our heat. It was local knowledge. I just knew to get a couple small ones under my belt in case no sets came. And he was sitting there waiting for a bomb, and that's what Dorian does. He waits for bombs, but I was just lucky that this time the bomb didn't come to him. So I'm stoked to get a win, but the rematch is on for sure. Next year, 10 foot, both of us, it'll be a bit different show.
All right, you guys heard it, the rematch against Shane Dorian in 10-foot conditions. Thanks for your time. Todd?
All right, thank you, Tina. And while you were talking with Mark Matthews, Laurie Towner picked up a nice wave, Mike, a 9.65 on that effort.
Yeah, one of the bigger waves of the morning. Laurie Towner gets in nice and early here, gets sideways, and he has to pick his line. You see him crouch real low right there. This is a beautiful, perfect wave for Laurie Towner. Comes flying out of the barrel. And as we take another look at it, early entry, grabs that wall to slow down, has to get nice and low right there, and just picks his line perfectly through this barrel. So Laurie Towner looking very sharp out here and comfortable, and an excellent score.
Local knowledge once again paying off as the next heat gets set to go. And this is going to be Koby Abberton versus Bruce Irons. And Abberton having some issues. Mike, just getting into this wave is so treacherous.
Oh, that was a heavy situation there for Koby Abberton. Just timing to get into the water is so treacherous here at ours as he flips his board over to make sure his fins are still on there. Koby's a pretty tough guy. He's going to be fine, but that was a treacherous situation there, really dangerous.
Big heat coming up with Abberton versus Bruce Irons, and we are coming to the final moments of heat number 3. And Dave Rostovich right now trailing Laurie Towner. Snips, he needs a big wave right here.
Well, he does. He has priority, and he's in the position here. He's having a look at this one, and here he goes. Gets that good paddle into this wave, a clean bomb. He's really deep in the barrel on the foam ball. Oh, and he just goes down. Pretty heavy wipeout. And had he been able to exit that barrel, that was a very big score. So a missed opportunity there for Dave.
Rostovich, the born Kiwi but living in Australia surfer, goes down to Laurie Towner's 14.15. And while we have a break in the action, let's check in with Tina Dixon.
Laurie, it was a heat against Dave Rostovich, who has so much respect for you, but it looked like you got a little bit deeper, bigger, better wave selection. It was unanimous decision by the judges.
Yeah, it's always good to surf with Dave. He's a good mate of mine, and I've surfed with him a bunch. And yeah, to have a heat out here at ours with him or Cape Fear is it's really fun.
Well, he just told me he wanted to come surf this event because it would just be the 2 of you in the water. There's actually 4 of you at one time, but how is it just to have so few of guys out here at Cape Fear?
Oh, it's really fun just to get to battle against one other surfer. It's such a cool concept for a competition, and it's there's so many good surfers in here that watching every heat's just going to be really cool, and that's what I'm going to do, and go out there and sit back and just watch everyone surf the rest of the contest.
Yeah, and what were your thoughts when you first got Dave Rostovich, when you found out you were surfing against him?
Oh, I was psyched when I first got Dave because he's such a cruisy guy, and I'm pretty cruisy too, and I knew there would be no hassling going on and whatever, so yeah, I love surfing with him, and he's from up near home anyway, so we've had a fair few surfs together, and I used to surf with him a fair bit, so it was good to catch up with him and have a surf with him out here at Cape Fear.
Well, he just said that it was great to have a surf with Laurie, but you actually came out ahead of him, so how is that for you?
Oh, it feels amazing, you know, 10 grand to go get barreled feels pretty good, so I just want to thank Redbull and Matthews and Hippo and those guys for putting on such an amazing event, and I hope it continues in the future, because, yeah, it's such a cool concept.
Congratulations.
Let's take a look at heat number 5, and this is one that everyone's been talking about. Koby Abberton, the 35-year-old from New South Wales, going up against Bruce Irons out of Kauai. Back to the action. This is Richie Vaz, heat number 4.
Oh, Richie Vaz on one of the bigger waves of the day. Oh, and he comes out of the barrel clean there. So picks a beautiful wave. Had a lot of bump on the takeoff on that. Let's take a look at the water angle here. You can see the backwash and refraction from the wave before right here. He has to negotiate the bumps and comes off the bottom beautifully here. He's going to stall and get up into the barrel. Has to avoid one of his fellow competitors here. And this is just a beautiful ride. Stalling right here, trying to stay deep and get behind the curtain. He does. You see him negotiate that backwash perfectly.
And a nice score for Richie Vaz. He picks up a 7.5. Heat number 4, Evan Falks in white getting his first scoring wave.
Whoa, airdrop from Evan there, stalling right here. So a beautiful drop there. Unfortunately, not real deep in the barrel. It'll be a backup score, but nonetheless, great technique and an airdrop for him.
Nice set coming through now. It looks like Richie Vaz back in position on the outside.
Yeah, this looks like a smaller wave. He's looking for a backup score here, stalling right here, trying to get into the barrel. Pulls up tight, clean little barrel, and just gets tomahawked by the lip there. The backwash once again lifted him up onto the face of that wave, and his head hit the lip, but he's fine. Plenty of water right there where he fell, so just a backup score.
Heat number 5 also in the water, and since both surfers in heat 4 out of position, it looks like heat number 5 will have an opportunity to surf this next wave that's rolling through, and in the red, that looks like Koby Abberton in the right position.
Yeah, Koby Abberton here, he takes off on this one, stalling, grabbing the wall with both arms to really slow himself down. Oh. Unfortunately for Koby, no barrel there.
So the waves just pounding off this cliff wall. Mike, when we talk about slab surfing, give that to the folks at home that aren't familiar with surfing. What does that mean?
Well, slab surfing is all about the reef, a reef slab where waves break on incredibly shallow waters. And it's relatively new to the sport of surfing, and it's one of the most dangerous forms of surfing there is. And this wave is one of the best slab waves in the world, as you can see right here.
Bruce Irons up and riding.
Yeah, nice wave here for Bruce. Oh, incredible kick out. Bruce so comfortable in these types of slabby waves. And behind him, of course, this is Evan Falks. And Evan with a nice clean wave himself. So some good action here right now. Seems like the surf is kind of pulsing and these guys getting some very good waves.
Bruce Irons making his way back out there, Mike. That was a heavy fall on a big wave. Let's look at this wave one more time.
Yeah, Bruce, so experienced. He's been on the CT for years. He's won World Championship Tour events, but his specialty is riding the barrel. Waves like these, he is so comfortable at home. Nice tube ride there. He goes for the air kick out here and just having a good time, really. Bruce Irons, one of the best big wave surfers in the world, and this will be a fantastic score.
And Irons' score comes in as a 6.25, and right behind him, it was Evan Falks picking up his last wave for heat number 4.
Yeah, Evan doing a good job there too, trying to slow down, get in that barrel, and a lot of bump and backwash on this as he goes for that cutback. He has to watch out for his good buddy Bruce there. So this is a very good heat, very competitive.
So the final moments tick away for heat number 4. Despite that last wave, it'll be Richie Vaz getting the better of Evan Falks, 10.15 to 6.95. While there's a lull in the waves, let's check in with Tina.
Richie Vaz, Evan Falks, this was the heat of the locals, and Richie, how was it going up against one of your best mates?
Yeah, you know what, I was starting to be part of it with Ev, but I was a little bit more nervous than usual because, yeah, like I said, surfing with your best mate, whoever gets the win gets the bragging rights, and I'm sure every time I ever been now it's going to come up. So I'm lucky I'm the one who gets the bragging. I don't get rubbed in every time. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a great event. Stoked the boys pulled it off. Just wish there's a few more feet of swell would be nice.
Yeah. So he got the win, and you're one of the guys that has also been one of the pioneers out here surfing. So how's the ego right now?
Yeah, he got it. He's and he's like you said, he can rub it in. So. Yeah, it's all fun, but what do you do? Yeah, that's it. It's all fun.
But sum up, how is it for you guys to both be here at one of the breaks that you've been surfing for 10 years and have this event?
Yeah, I mean, it's surreal. Like looking back at the event and all the people here and the cameras and the whole production. To have this at your favourite wave, surfing with your best mate, it's pretty surreal. And as I said, had a couple of your best mates, Mark and Hippo, come up with this crazy idea, and Redbull to back it and come up with something like this. It's pretty amazing. So I'm just stoked to be here.
All right, and Evan?
Yeah, like you said, it's amazing. Like the production, everything that they've done is pretty crazy. Like we were walking out and we were like, look at this, we couldn't believe it,
You guys are going to have a rematch, though.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Maybe when there's a bit more swell, we'll have a little bit of a rematch. But yeah, it's fun day.
Oh, it was fun to watch both of you guys.
Heats 5 and 6 are in the water, and we are just on the brink of the shipping lanes coming in and out of the Sydney Harbor. And with that, here's Sal.
The life of a big wave surfer. Many of us have this romanticized notion that surfers travel the planet to beautiful and exotic locations, surf all day without a care in the world. Well, some of the best surf is in faraway tropical paradises, yes, but when you get that call that the swell is on, you literally have to drop everything in your life, regardless of where you are or what you were doing, and you gotta get to your destination by any means possible as fast as you can.
When I got the call for the event, Cape Fear, I was in Los Angeles actually doing some training.
I was wrapping up a 9-hour surf day in the middle of nowhere in West Africa.
I was actually in New York doing some media stuff when I saw the forecast starting to shape up, and I couldn't believe it.
I gotta get to Hawaii, pick up my boards, next morning leave Hawaii, show up at Sydney Airport, get picked up, straight into it. Never surfed Cape Fear before.
I had a 10-day trip, scheduled appearances in Europe, and then literally on our way there, just took a right turn and flew to Sydney.
So when you see a swell pop up for Cape Fear, instantly what boards do I bring? What fins, what leashes, what wetsuits? You're trying to put a whole picture together in your mind of what it's gonna be like and what you need to survive these kind of waves.
I think a lot of people's perception of it is you're flying to these beautiful areas and you're just getting out to go surf, but there's a lot of things that happen prior to you even getting on the plane.
Stickering up boards, no time for fun, it's time to get ready.
And while you're en route, organizing all the details, what filmers, what photographers, if you have a safety crew, where the jet skis are coming, logistics to where the local hospital is. There's a lot of moving parts.
It was such a huge thing for those guys to drop everything at a moment's notice and come to this event. I believe that the best part about it is that they believe in this event and they want it to work, otherwise they wouldn't be here.
So, Mike, your cover is blown as a professional surfer. It is not all just fun and games.
It's not. These guys are ready to drop anything at a moment's notice. It's all about being at the right place at the right time. That's what big wave surfing is all about. And these guys are addicted to it. They do not want to miss perfect conditions or a great swell. That's why they'll go anywhere at any time to ride these types of waves.
Heat number 6 in the water, Dean Morrison, Ian Walsh. Let's go back to heat 5. And how about Koby Abberton?
Wow, that was a great wave for Koby. Big, beautiful wave, steep drop, nice barrel for him. You can see the local knowledge coming into play here. Beautiful surfing from Koby Abberton.
Waves starting to pick up here at Cape Fear as we will bounce from heat 5 up to heat 6 and scrambling. This is Dean Morrison.
Yeah, Dean Morrison spent a lot of time on the world tour. He's won events and is one of the most established big wave surfers in the world. And he picks up a great opening ride as well. A big wave deep in the barrel, and Dean surfing perfect.
Dingo Morrison from Coolangatta, also the hometown for McFanning, Joel Parkinson. But right now at Cape Fear, it is all about the Dingo.
It is. That was a great wave. He basically took off in the barrel. You can see right there. He has to bottom turn in the tube. So he read that wave perfectly. Nice open tube. The judges love it when you exit the barrel cleanly. And then this was Koby Abberton, local knowledge, grabbing the wall there, stalling in the barrel right off the takeoff as well. So these are two of the better scores we've seen in quite some time.
Dean Morrison picking up an 8.5. Koby Abberton picking up a 7. As the sets are starting to roll in, it looks like in position in the black, it's Bruce Irons.
Oh, Bruce with a heavy wipeout right there. That wave was so intense. You saw the backwash, and he goes down pretty hard. And if Bruce Irons goes down, you know these waves are very treacherous, very difficult to make those steep drops.
Speaking of steep drops, how about Ian Walsh in the blue?
Yeah, that was an incredible drop for Ian. Just fell out of the sky there. Nice, clean barrel. So very comfortable, again, in these types of waves. Ian Walsh is one of those surfers who does not like to miss any swells around the world. He is dedicated to being in the right place at the right time.
And there is Kirk Flintoff of Australia getting set for his heat. It'll be heat number 7 and perfectly executes the entrance into Cape Fear.
Yeah, those rocks very treacherous, as we've seen, and timing is everything getting in and out of the water as another beautiful set approaches. And up and riding, it looks like Ian Walsh again on a nice, clean little barrel.
Quick entry, quick exit for Ian Walsh. That was wave number 2. So starting to build his wave count here. But remember, it's your 2 best scoring waves. Here's Walsh again.
Yeah, gets in early, grabs the wall, just stops his speed right there to stay in the tube as long as he possibly can. Changes his line a little bit. So beautiful surfing here. You can see this technique from the front angle. Literally almost comes to a stop here to try to disappear from the judge's sight. And he exits the barrel cleanly there.
We've got final results from heat number 5. Koby Abberton, the Aussie, taking down Hawaii's Bruce Irons. We're in the midst of heat 6 of Cape Fear, part of the Redbull Signature Series. As we take a look at the matchup for heat number 7 coming up, Kirk Flintoff of Australia going head-to-head with James Adams, also of Australia.
Yeah, that'll be another great matchup. A lot of local knowledge in that one for sure as we see paddling into this one. This is James Adams' first wave, really deep on this wave, trying to get in that barrel and unable to exit.
So Adams out of Maroubra, New South Wales, unable to negotiate that wave. Would have been his first scoring wave. He will pick up a score. And remember, it's your 2 best scoring waves. As we get a look at Jesse Pollock getting ready to head out for the final heat of the day. He'll be taking on Sam McIntosh. And we've talked about this so many times. Just getting into this break is so tricky.
It really is. You got to have your timing just perfect. Wait for those lulls as we see James Adams going for wave number 2 here. Dropping in. This wave looks a little better. He hits the brakes right there, pulls up into the barrel. Nice clean barrel, but unable to make the exit as the backwash knocked him off.
So Adams picking up 2 quick waves, not high scoring waves, but remember it's your 2 best scoring waves. And you talk about being deep on a wave. How about this?
Yeah, it was a nice drop. He hits the brakes right here, stalls, puts all his weight on that back foot to get nice and cleanly in the barrel. Unfortunately for him there, that wave just had a backwash and the barrel pinched and he was unable to exit. But a nice effort there.
So Adams' wave gets closed out. His total now is a 3.75. You get a good look at the 2 heats, 6 and 7, all jockeying for position here at Cape Fear. And it looks like Kirk Flintoff in the red is going to have priority now. How difficult is this, Mike? He is the only surfer on his backhand here at Cape Fear.
Well, it's really difficult, and he negotiated that wave perfectly. A really late takeoff, basically taking off in the barrel. And on the backside, it's so different. You got to set your edge a little bit earlier, and you have that control in the barrel. So actually being on your backside could be an advantage in these kind of conditions.
So Flintoff's score comes down as a 5.25, our first goofy footer. And right behind him, it's Dean Morrison in white.
Wow, the waves are really good right now. Dean Morrison, this is a great wave. Double tube ride, one of the bigger waves of the day. Comes out after the spit. Incredible surfing there from Dean Morrison. That was a fantastic wave.
So heat 6 has been wrapped up. It is Dean Morrison getting the win over Ian Walsh. And the Aussies continue to dominate. And while we have a short break, let's check in with Tina Dixon.
And it was Dean Morrison who beat Ian Walsh in that heat. But the first time that you surfed Cape Fear, you just told us was in the dark. So how was it out there in this contest format?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, we didn't quite get the waves that we were hoping for, but it was still fun and contestable. But yeah, the first time I actually ever surfed out here was one night. They put the lights on. And it was just, you know, it was ridiculous. I was probably the scaredest I've ever been surfing. So to go out there, you know, it was nowhere near as bad as that, but it was still, you know, it was still pretty hairy.
And give us your perspective out in the water, in the barrel. I know people always talk about you being a barrel master.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you're just trying to just feel the bottom of the wave and see which ones have the end bit, because you want it, you know, you want the one that's at run and they're the good ones. So you're just looking for the right speed and the right kind of angle that comes in, and then yeah, hopefully it comes when you got priority.
Yeah, but leading up to this, there was all you guys lined up, all the surfers lined up, and the majority of the surfers chose you to win this heat, and that's exactly what happened. Describe that.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of put a lot of pressure on me though. I was like, oh, you know, it's just, you know, everyone thought I was going to win, so I really had to kind of focus and kind of try my best. But yeah, I was stoked all the boys backed me. But I mean, Walshy's like, you know, he's one of my favourite surfers. I look up and watch what he's doing, and it really inspires me, and you know, it keeps pushing me to, you know, get out of my comfort zone and push myself.
He said the same about you, and you took the heat, so congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
While we have a lull in the swell, let's find out more about this unique format for this surf competition.
Redbull Cape Fear, what first gave me the idea was I'm a massive fan of boxing and UFC, and the way that format is, it's the most exciting way to run an event.
The reason why we went with the format we did is because there's winners of each battle and everyone can shine throughout the day. It's not just one person taking all the glory.
We've got 8 different battles. So there'll be 8 pairs of surfers just going head to head throughout the day.
When I used to compete a lot, it gets monotonous, you know, doing the same events, the same format over and over and over. This gives us like a different sense of competitiveness.
Man on man, and you get what's rightfully yours. You know, it's like you're not dogging your friend. It's his turn, he's going, he's got priority.
The judging's similar to an ASP surfing event, where it's all about the tube ride and time in the barrel, how big and heavy the wave is. But what we do is going to have 3 judges, just like in a boxing fight. Those guys are going to have their winner of the heat. And then it's going to be whoever gets the 2 judges versus the 1 at the end. It's a little bit different that way.
I think it can really create a platform for the fans to kind of pick and choose who they want to see together. And you can see that coming in from all the people writing in on social media about who they're backing and who they're not. That gives it more of that feel when you watch soccer on a world scale. It's fun as surfers to have that. It's been really cool. I think it's been a successful format, and I'm looking forward to seeing this spin off again here and maybe at other venues around the world.
Heat number 8 in the water now. Jesse Pollock taking on Sam McIntosh. And out back, it looks like James Adams is scrambling for yet another wave and a big drop.
Oh, a heavy wipeout for James Adams there. Free falling out of the sky. Tries to get set in this, but is in front of the lip right here. You can see him land. Big impact. He lands on his board, and the lip goes right through him. And that is one of the most hazardous things out here at this wave. So steep, so hollow, and so shallow. That was a very intense wipeout.
1.4 for James Adams after all that hammering by Mother Nature. Meanwhile, we got a scramble here. It's Jesse Pollock in white.
Well, Jesse Pollock, incredibly deep in this barrel. Wow. Comes flying out, completely stoked. One of the best waves of the day. And so deep in that barrel is Jesse Pollock.
Pollock, one of the youngest members of the competition, also part of the Bra Boys. And he has made a name for himself here at ours.
We see the replay here. He's so deep in this barrel. Grabs the wall nicely there and threads the needle right here. Has to pump, and he's really deep right here. Just in front of that foam ball, pumping, and negotiates it perfectly. You can see the enthusiasm, how stoked he was. One of our youngest competitors in the event, and what a feeling that is.
So Jesse Pollock, at 24 years of age, picks up a perfect 10. What a ride for the young man. And we've got more action. Here's Kirk Flintoff again on his backhand.
Well, Kirk Flintoff, oh, that was unbelievable. Come up way after the spit, high fives his buddy, airdrop, and another near perfect score there. That was unbelievable exchange.
So Heat 7 has now been concluded, and with that, Kirk Flintoff defeats James Adams in Heat 7. The Aussies just crushing this competition. The local knowledge certainly coming into play.
Yeah, this is an incredible angle right here. Such a steep drop on the backside, threads the needle just in front of that foam ball, and comes out after the spit for the high five. Nothing in the world is better feeling than getting spit out of a barrel like that.
Heat 7 comes to a conclusion, the all-Aussie affair, and Kirk Flintoff gets the win, a 15.25. Tina, what do you got?
Well, Well, this heat was all about two locals, a goofy versus a regular. And James, you were a last-minute ad. When did you get the phone call?
I just got the call about 2 minutes before the heat started. I was up there. I was an alternate surfer, and Jai didn't turn up for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. So then, I got the call off Redbull, so I just wetted up and got straight out there.
And going up against James as a goofy footer, you know, it's a little bit different being out there with your right foot forward.
Yeah, definitely. Like the actual guy I was supposed to go against, Jai, he's a goofy like me, so I was kind of stoked that we're both on the same playing fields. And then once I got hurt, I got Rue on me. I was like, oh no, here we go, because I've seen how good he's out here. Like every swell, he's amazing. And then, you know, I was just stoked to be out there with one of the boys that I always surf with as well. So it was still good, great fun and good heat.
Yeah, and you took the heat even with being a goofy footer. So break down that heat. What was the highlight for you?
The highlight was I think we both made a few errors with priority and stuff. It's a bit tricky out there at the moment. And then this one set came through, and I was just really deep, and there was a real steep takeoff, and I just got to the bottom and it just spat me out right in front of Jesse, which is in the heat after me, and I just slapped hands with him, and that was the heat highlight for me. It just felt amazing. Stoked.
We heard the crowd also, and for you, James, just to be able to surf out there with a few guys in an event like this, what does this mean?
Oh, it was real. Any chance you get to surf out here is good, and it's with one other guy in the water, you know, especially with Kirk. He's the best guy out here on his backhand, you know, so it was really fun to have a few waves out with him. Unfortunately, it didn't go my way. I made a few errors, and Kirk took it out, so yeah, it was good fun.
All right, you guys are going to have a rematch. The locals showing us how it's done.
The crowd eagerly anticipating the outcome of our final heat of the day. While we're away, Sam McIntosh in blue, wave number 1. How about this?
Yeah, Sam spends a lot of time surfing this wave. And let's take a look here. Drops in. He's looking for the barrel here, stalling, getting nice and tight in the pocket there. Looking really comfortable, and then almost too comfortable as that lip hits him in the head, but he kicks out cleanly. So a nice opening wave there for Sam McIntosh.
McIntosh, a busy man, as the publisher of Stab magazine, which has quickly become one of the biggest surf magazines, not only in Australia, but internationally, picks up a 6.50. And here we go, Jesse Pollock in white.
Yeah, Jesse on a nice looking wave here. And this wave doubles up. He's looking for that barrel, pulls in cleanly and exits cleanly. So another nice wave for him. Read that section perfectly.
Read it perfectly indeed, Mike. That thing could have gone wrong so many different spots for Jesse Pollock.
Yeah, as we take another look here, he's real forward on his board here, and right here he has to negotiate what is the wave going to do, and he just pulls in before that lip hits him. Beautifully done, and now he's trying to slow down, get behind that curtain, which he does nicely, and picks that clean exit out, so the judges will like that.
That wave kicks up so fast, but Jesse Pollock able to negotiate it, and with that he picks up a 7.60 on that wave, taking his total to 17.60.
Yeah, he's really having a good heat. Just looking very comfortable, selecting great waves. His board's working perfect, so he is on fire.
So the last two men in the water here at Cape Fear, just outside of Sydney, Australia. And it looks like Sam McIntosh has got the priority. He's going to go on this one.
Yeah, really steep, big wave. You see he has to take off vertically there. He wants to stall and get really deep in the barrel. So nicely done there for Sam.
And a beautiful exit by the Australian McIntosh, goes airborne.
Yeah, Sam's a great guy, super surf-stoked guy, and really cool to see him in this event and surfing great right there, really enjoying himself.
Wave score for McIntosh is a 5.25. That takes his total to 11.75, so he does still trail Jesse Pollock.
Yeah, it's important to get that barrel off the takeoff, and a lot of these guys, sometimes you have to make the drop before you can pull in, as Jesse Pollock on another beautiful wave here. He is so in rhythm and selecting good waves and really surfing well.
Pollock able to stall out nicely, and this could be the last wave, last opportunity for McIntosh.
Yeah, second wave of the set usually has a lot of backwash, so Sam was just a little out of sync in that heat. You could tell he was surfing well, but did not find the waves he was looking for.
So heat number 8 has come to a conclusion. What a performance by Jesse Pollock and Sam McIntosh, but it's Pollock that gets the win with a 17.75. And while we have a break in the action, let's check in with Tina Dixon.
Well, Jesse, you won that heat pretty decisively so, and talk about that first wave, because that just set a huge tone and the crowd was cheering for you.
Yeah, I was lucky to get it under priority, and I'm stoked I made it, and yeah, just stoked.
Well, everyone on the beach was screaming, and let's talk about before the event when all the guys were picking you to win the heat. How much did you use that as motivation?
Yeah, I used it a bit as motivation, but it also puts a lot of pressure on you too, you know, to go out there and do good. But yeah, like I just said before, I'm just stoked to get the heat win, and stoked to be a part of a great event, and hopefully it runs again next year.
Well, congratulations on winning the heat and having the wave of the day.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very impressive all the way around as we take a look at all our heat winners, and it is in fact an Aussie sweep.
Yeah, local knowledge was such a factor here today. You can see all these clashes, the guys who surf here the most and the Australians really dominating.
And that will take us to our Red Bull signature moment, and it's got to go to the first wave of the day. Who else but Ryan Hipwood of Australia? Cape Fear was the collaborative brainchild of Mark Matthews and Ryan as they wanted to bring a big wave event to their native land. Ryan started in our first match against Mr. Pipeline, Jamie O'Brien, and set the tone with one of the biggest waves of the day. Local knowledge proved crucial in today's swell conditions, and Ryan wasted no time striking first cleanly, riding one of the hugest barrels and scoring the first perfect 10 of the event. And Ryan is standing by with Tina.
No stranger to Cape Fear, and one of the brainchilds behind this event, Ryan Hipwood, who also got the first wave of the contest here. The first time this event has ever been held. Just give us your perspective.
Yeah, well, I mean, the conditions are great. We didn't get the size we wanted, but, you know, the first heat that I had with Jamie was amazing. We got, you know, really fun paddle waves, and, yeah, it feels good to get an edge over him for once.
Yeah, talk about that, because you guys have you're friends, but there's text wars also. Explain that.
Oh, yeah, we're friends. We're really good friends, but, you know, we've got a funny little rivalry going, and it's always good to get the upper hand on him.
And to be able to beat him here in Australia, how is that for you?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, this is my country, and, you know, it's good to get the upper hand on him here. He's always got the upper hand on me in Hawaii, so it's good to get one back on him for sure.
All right, thanks, Tina. Mike, an amazing event.
It really was. Incredible slab surfing. I can't wait to see this event again when the surf is 10 to 12 feet and these guys are going head to head.
And with that, here's Sal.
Thanks to you guys for joining us here in Cape Solander off the coast of Sydney, Australia for Red Bull Cape Fear. Congratulations to all of our winners that came out to this, one of the most treacherous waves in the world. We will see you next time.